Whether you're an Ironman or a main account looking to collection log, you want to do solo Tempoross? Well, here's how. Getting to Tempoross. Well, first things first, the best way is to simply teleport to Al-Kharid, and then just south of the bank, there is a boat right here, and that'll take you right to Tempoross. Now that we're at the port, before we start the minigame by solo starting the rope ladder back there, let's just sort out our inventory setup real quick. We do have the angler's outfit on, although that is not necessary at all. And I also have the dragon harpoon, but any harpoon will do. In our inventory, we have 1 rope and 4 buckets. These 4 buckets will actually need to fill with water. So let's go do that real quick by simply climbing up the ladder normally. And there is actually a water pump right here. We'll fill up those buckets now. There we go. And now we should actually be good to go. One final note before we get started. I do want to emphasize that there are varying solo Tempoross methods. The method we're going to be doing today is a balanced method where you get a decent amount of EXP as well as permits per Tempoross game. We should be expecting about 9 permits per game, and if we're lucky sometimes maybe even 10. Without any more delay, right-click solo start, and the game instantly starts. We load in, and we're going to quickly run off the ship, and let's start fishing. We're going to aim to get about 10 of these harpoon fish here. There we go, we have 10 harpoon fish we're going to start cooking, but while we cook these 10 harpoon fish, we're unlikely to get through them all. While we're doing this, we are paying attention to the fishing spots, and there's going to be one fishing spot that's going to be highlighted dark blue. That's going to be a double fishing spot right there. And as soon as that shows up, we're going to go for the double fishing spot. And for this first phase of Tempoross, we are going to be aiming to get 16 total fish. So through the Tempoross plugin, we actually have 17 right now. We want to be pretty precise here, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop the 1 harpoon fish. And I'm going to cook all 16 of my harpoon fish. While cooking, this little wave effect is going to happen. When the wave effect happens, we're going to have to tie ourselves to the totem pole, which is precisely why we have the rope. Once we're done with that, we get back to cooking. If you don't make it to the totem pole in time with your rope, you will end up losing some items in your inventory. It could be your fish, it could be your buckets, or even the rope itself, and that's going to be very unfortunate. Once we have the 16 fish, we're going to run up here to the ship and start filling the ammunition crate with all the cooked harpoon fish. If you're on time, these fires will show up, but you should have ample time to fire the rest of your harpoon fish, and then this is where your 4 buckets of water come into play. You douse the flames, and there's always going to be 4 different tiles of flames to start with, which is precisely why we have 4 buckets. Once we're done with that, we're going to fish once again, but this time instead of 16, we're going to go for 19. And during this, also do keep an eye out on the double fishing spot. This is going to be a huge time save, and if you have lower fishing level, you definitely want to pay attention to the double fishing spot. I am 99 fishing, so I do have more room to work with, but if you have lower fishing levels, the timing may be a bit more tight, and you really got to pay attention. Another thing that could benefit you is I'm not, but you could wear a light bearer if you have access to one, and then dragon harpoon spec. That could help you. Okay, so we have 19 harpoon fish once again. I actually have some extras. We're going to go ahead and cook all 19 fish, and then it's the same process. Once we have them all cooked, we're going to run up to the ship and fill the ammunition crate. So the first phase is the only phase where you would have to worry about tying yourself to the totem pole and dealing with the flames. If you do everything on time, you won't have one of those disaster events happening again, which is exactly why we don't bring a hammer. In Mass World Tempoross, or maybe in some other methods, periodically this totem pole might break from the waves, and you would have to repair it with a hammer in your inventory in order to use it again. But as long as we are doing this correctly, we don't expect to have to deal with that again. So 19 cooked fish, we're going to fire it into this whirlpool here, or whatever you want to call it. And this time around, you can see that there's a spirit pool here that we can harpoon. We're going to go do that. This is another great chance, if you're running a dragon harpoon and light bearer setup, or even without the light bearer, that you could spec, so you do a little bit more damage to the essence bar here, aka the health bar of Tempoross itself. So we're going to be harpooning the spirit pool for as long as it allows us. It's probably going to get to about half health. And we're currently racking up the points, 3,585. Okay, we can no longer harpoon it, so we go back to fishing. We are now on phase 2. We're going to fish another 19 harpoon fish, just as we did on the last rotation around. Now, the numbers we do for the first 3 sets of fishing is pretty precise because we're pretty much preloading the cannons. Double fishing spot, always got to pay attention to those. You can see on the top left here below the HP bar or the essence bar, there's also the storm intensity bar. We cannot let that reach 100, otherwise we wipe and we have to go back to the main island and we lose the minigame, which is not what we want to do. Okay, so here we go. I actually cut a little bit more once again because I'm just too focused on talking. Well, we got another 19 fish. Cook those and once again fill the ammunition crate. Again, if you have lower fishing stats, this the timing window could be a lot more tight, and as such you have to pay close attention to the storm intensity. If it reaches about 93%, you should definitely be on your way to the ship to load up the cannons. If you're past 93%, you're likely to be late. But you can see here for me, I have ample time. I have my 19 fish now, and I'm going to once again fill it. And the cannon will fire off on Tempoross. The spirit pool is available, but we're making sure to fire off all 19, or at least load them in right now. Okay, we got rid of all the fish in our inventory, and we can once again harpoon. The second time harpooning the spirit pool, it's going to put the essence really, really low. It is a little bit RNG because you don't have a consistent hit. For example, right there, we hit an 8, and then our max hit is a 12. So it is going to be a little RNG in that aspect. But doing this method, no matter what level you are, whether you have a dragon harpoon or not, it should always leave the boss's essence probably sub 20. So this time around, 15% left. And we're going to do the fishing and cooking process one more time. This time around, you can actually clear your inventory and fill your inventory up with all the fish if you really want to. But the thing is, you're going to want the buckets and the rope refilled with water for the next game, right? So for me, I'm simply too lazy, although there are buckets right here and the water pump right next to it. So if you want to put in that extra effort to squeeze out more points, you can clear your inventory and just fill it up with harpoon fish. This last phase is really just about how many harpoon fish you can fish and cook and load into the cannon for extra points. Again, double fishing spot up. We're going to go for that. Okay, we actually have 1 harpoon fish on the ground. We'll pick that up. So for us, without clearing our inventory, we can get 23 harpoon fish. Again, the timing window can be very tight, but you will know you did the method correctly if you only experience 1 wave attack and 1 set of flames. So we're going to cook our 23 fish here, and we're going to load the cannon 1 final time. So this is the part where we're basically getting extra points because we're loading the cannon, but it's not actually firing at it because the whirlpool is already out, but we're gaining points. So this is the opportunity here where you can just, fill as many fish as possible into the crate for extra points. And once you're done with that, back on the spirit pool, a few harpoons here, and that should do the trick. And as the game ends, if you're trying to do more than 1 KC, make sure to refill your buckets right here at the water pump. If you dropped your buckets, the pile of buckets is right next to it. And then you can actually right-click leave with first mate dairy right here. Although after a couple of seconds, it will automatically kick you out. Once you're done with the game, you will return to the port. And on the top left here, you can actually see that there's a little tome of water icon, and it tells you how many reward points or permits you currently have. And in the game chat as well, it'll give you the time it took for you to subdue Tempoross and the amount of points you got, as well as the permits. So reward permits, we got 9 from that last one. Total permits, we're up to 271 right now, and our total Tempoross KC is 37. If you want to claim rewards between every single game, you can come over here and speak to the spirit angler that's just sitting on the ground right here and ask for a net, take net, and then you can get your rewards right here. Now, I'm not going to do that for right now. I'm trying to stack up to 400 points or 400 permits, and then I'll do a big session where I try to get the fishing barrel and maybe some other things. What are those other things, you might ask? Well, here is the list of unique rewards at Tempoross. The Spirit Flakes, which you can use to turn your angler's outfit into the Spirit Anglers, which not only is a nice aesthetic, but there's actually a rope built into the Spirit Angler outfit. So that actually saves you 1 inventory space if you're looking to do more Tempoross. You're going to get a casket periodically as well, 1 in 20 drop, a bunch of different things. There's also the Soaked Pages, which is for the Tome of Water, which is also from this minigame. You can get the Fishing Barrel at 1 in 400. That's the thing I'm after the most right now, and that's why I'm saving to 400 permits, because hopefully I will just get it within the rate. The Tackle Box is also 1 in 400. You can get a big harpoon fish, which I don't think does anything. I suppose that's just a collection log. That is quite rare at 1 in 1,600. I already mentioned the Tome of Water. There's the Dragon Harpoon. That is a whopping 1 in 8,000, which actually is the same rate as the pet. Obviously, we're not always going to get the uniques. There are other drops as well from Tempoross. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called uniques. The drops range from various fish to different planks and whatnot. All very useful things for Ironman. So it's a nice minigame to do nice and early, just as Winter Todd is for the typical Ironman. You can see as we did one Tempoross KC there, just walking through the whole process, it's not too entirely complicated. It's actually very simple, but the Tempoross plugin will help you just so you can see the double fishing spots more clearly. And instead of having to count through your inventory, you can have the counter in a little info box on your left side of the screen. So I say once you have the Tempoross plugin and configured to your liking, that's pretty much all you need, and you can just start doing Tempoross. Well, that's going to conclude the solo Tempoross guide here. Again, I just want to emphasize that there are other methods, but this is the method I'm most familiar with and the one that I think is most beneficial, especially for early game accounts, Ironman or not, because you get a mixture of EXP and permits per game. I need to get a lot of the rewards here myself, and I do see the irony here because I am a maxed Ironman, yet here I am with the regular angler's outfit, no fishing barrel or any of the rewards, but I'm working towards it, and it's better late than never. The first time I experienced Tempoross was actually on another account, and I actually got quite spooned on it. I got the barrel and the pet in under 400 permits. Well, let's see if we can get the same luck on this account. Beyond just this Tempoross guide, we're going to be doing more guides and walkthroughs of various content in the game. I recently did a community poll here on the YouTube channel asking what people wanted to see the most, and PVM/bossing guides won out the most. I guess Tempoross is mostly skilling, but hey, there's combat achievements and there's a boss KC high score. So I decided to do Tempoross because this was something I needed to do anyways, and I realized I could make a guide that would be useful for a lot of people out there, I think. With that being said, if you guys are interested in more guides and walkthroughs, or any Ironman content in general, we do have an ongoing Dolo Gim series. A quick explainer for that is I play 2 group Ironman accounts at once. We always have a long list of videos to push out, and sometimes I do get them done early, and if you become a YouTube member, you can get early access to them. And one closing thought, do let me know what type of guide you might want to see next.